Today we're going to talk about the last three parts of speech: prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. That's right, we're blowing through three of them at once today because they're not too tricky. But before we can get into talking about prepositions, conjunctions, there's something we have to understand. And that is phrases and clauses. That's right, there's actually 5 terms you're learning today. I tricked you. Phrases are just 2 or more words that are linked together and don't have both a subject and a predicate. So in other words, we don't have both a noun and a verb that goes with it in a phrase. There's one or the other. Some examples of phrases are the crying boy, the ugly duckling, without cause, up the stairs. All of these, you can kind of see how these words are working together, whether some of them are describing others or they're working to give us a better idea of where or when something is taking place. But it's just simply a group of words that works together. A clause, on the other hand, is a group of words that does contain both a subject and a predicate, or a noun and a verb. So for example, the boy ran and the girl laughed at him. I've got 2 clauses in that sentence. The boy ran, boy being our subject and ran being our predicate, and the girl laughed at him, the girl is our subject, laughed is our predicate. Or we didn't understand, but we pretended we did. Again, we have 2 clauses in this sentence. We didn't understand, we being the subject, did understand being our predicate, and we being our subject again, and pretended being our predicate there. So every sentence is a clause, but sometimes we have more than one clause in a sentence. Alright, now that we understand those 2 terms, we can start to talk about our parts of speech. Starting with conjunctions. You've probably seen that Schoolhouse Rock video, so what is the function of a conjunction? Conjunctions make connections between words, phrases, and clauses, those 2 things we just talked about. So it makes connections between a single word and a single word, or it might be between a group of words and a group of words. Words like and, but, yet, because are all conjunctions, as are groups of words like either and or neither and nor. So let's start with coordinating conjunctions. These are just words that connect like words or groups of words. So I tried to sprint ahead because Brandon was passing me and I wanted to win the race. So both because and are connecting a complete clause to a clause to a clause. They're connecting like types of words. Or I came in last place at the race, but it was a lot of fun. Again, we have a clause at the beginning with a subject and a predicate, and a clause at the end with a subject and a predicate. The other type of conjunction is correlative conjunction, and this just means we're using 2 words to make that connection, like I beat neither Nathan nor Sergio. At the pen relays, both Thomas and Manny finished after I did.
Okay, here goes. Around, 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 around.
The job of a conjunction is to connect words, phrases, and clauses. Now we're going to move on to prepositions, whose job is also to connect, and as you might have guessed from the song, they often show us location. Prepositions tend to give students the hardest time because their definition is a little bit fuzzy. These are words that link nouns and pronouns along with their phrases to the rest of a sentence. The word or phrase the preposition introduces is called the object of the preposition. There will always be an object following a preposition. Prepositional phrases, that's the preposition and all the words that go with ending in the object, will tell us time or place most of the time. Honestly, the easiest way to spot a preposition is to try to eliminate the other parts of speech and to learn to recognize some of the more common prepositions. Prepositional phrases can always be taken out of a sentence and it'll still make sense. It's never essential to the main meaning of a sentence, it just gives us extra information. So here are some of our most common prepositions, and I have a picture of our friend Grover down there because I still remember the Sesame Street song he sings about over, under, and through. Our direction words like above, across, in, over, through are prepositions. So are words that help us show time or location, like after, or on, or before, or to, or during. And then some of the other common prepositions are words like of, and for, and with. Think in your mind and picture some nouns that could follow these, like a common way of remembering these is thinking about the plane flew blank the clouds. So that'll help with our direction words. The plane flew above the clouds, or through the clouds, or under the clouds, or in the clouds. Some of those other ones are a little bit trickier. And sometimes our prepositions are compound. We talked about compound nouns before. Compound just means we have more than one working together. So sometimes our prepositions have more than one word working together, like I sprinted in front of Tomas at the Burke Invitational. So in front of, those three words are working together to link Tomas, our object, to the rest of the sentence. We have another preposition in that sentence too. Can you spot it? It's at the Burke Invitational, with Burke Invitational being our object, connecting it to the rest of the sentence. Another example, unfortunately, because of my cramp, I ended up in last place. Again, we have a compound in because of, with cramp being the object, and then we also have the phrase in last place with in working on its own. Or prior to the race, I thought I'd do very well. Just one prepositional phrase here that's telling us time, prior to being the preposition and race being the object. You can start to see how if you take those phrases out, the sentence still makes sense. I thought I'd do very well. That makes sense as a sentence. But prior to the race just gives us a better idea of when I thought I'd do very well. Whew, almost there. Now we're on to interjections. Wow, awesome, so fun. Why did I say those silly things? Because interjections are words that express emotions. There is no grammatical relation between an interjection and the rest of a sentence. The only purpose they fill is to fill space and help us express ourselves. For example, ow, that hurts. That first word there, yow, isn't even a real word. It's just kind of showing us how we're feeling at the time. Or yikes, you scared me to death, Rebecca. So yikes is showing us the emotion we're feeling at the time. Notice that there's often an exclamation point with interjections, although not always, because you could have some filler words like and which are also considered interjections. Or I think I just felt my heart break. The in there is our interjection. And of course, yes, you should study for the test on this. Yes doesn't have a grammatical function, it's just kind of confirming what the rest of the sentence is saying there. Alright, you made it. Woo, sigh of relief. So our recap is conjunctions connect words that are similar or word groups that are similar. Prepositions connect our noun or pronoun to the rest of the sentence. Throw the ball to him. To him would be our preposition. And interjections are filler words that generally show emotion. Yes, we made it through.